Boy, when I first saw the ad for this Losi Nascar, I was super excited. I'm gonna tell you why. Stick with me here for a second. Over the past 6 to 9 months, going to all kinds of racetracks and running a lot of different classes, there's one thing that has been missing, and that's racers. Attendance has been down everywhere. The last time that we saw a very large surge at our local track and some of the other not so local ones was when we had an explosion of TTO2 racers. And why was it so successful? The cost, the ease of entry, the close racing, the ability to teach people basic RC concepts so they can have instant success. We're not talking about changing diff fluids and using this spring and that shim and truing tires and all the other shit that goes along with all of these classes of RC cars, except for this. So I'm very happy to say that I pre-ordered one and I do not regret the decision at all. I had it out at the track. Let's take a look at some oval laps here and I will come back and show you what we're doing with the car and talk to you about what some of our intentions are for the upcoming season with this amazing little 190 ready to roll out of the box race car. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. We are going to make racing great again. So the laps that you're seeing here were after our last off-road session that we had on Saturday. A few of us had our cars, we tore the off-road down and we immediately went to start playing with some on-road stuff. And eventually I got to run some really awesome, consistent oval laps. Now, if we take a look at the laps and what I was able to do, I was able to get a top 15 average of a 4.38, a hot lap of a 4.31. There's definitely more left in the car. Let's compare that to like the TTO2. This was like a super fast A main, kind of a bad example. But if we look at the top 15, 426, 420, 426, 420, 4323. The B mains were even slower. Excuse my voice. You can tell how excited I am about this. So what we have here is a good on-road and oval car for $190 plus tax out the box. Local hobby shop is giving people deals on extra batteries if you wanted to pick a couple of those things up. There's a lot of different things that you can get for battery charging. The little included charger looks like it is going to be able to charge from a 5-minute heat in about 30 minutes. Not bad. We will figure all that out. Our intentions are to run this literally RTR out of the box. Now, I know some of you smart asses are going to say, well, if you're doing this and doing that, is that really box stock? Shut up. It is. Whatever. We are not adding any additional parts to this car except a few stickers that I did here. Of course, we've got some R1, some Sword Fast, just because that's what we do. And we also need a Y harness adapter to hook up our transponder and our fan. Getting the transponder mounted, it's kind of up to you. I just drilled a hole in the middle of the hood there to make it simple and easy. The plastic mold release that's on here, you really need to clean it, sand it a little bit in order to get double side sticky tape. The most obvious place would kind of be somewhere around in here, but then you're kind of like guessing where you're going to go unless you want to cut out the windshield decal or whatever. That is all up to you. You can mount your transponder wherever you want to. So when we first took the car out on the track, even though I had ran it around out in the parking lot a little bit to try to scrub the tires in, it still was like driving on ice. But after 20, 30 laps or whatever, the car started to come in. What we did was we took some of our normal tire prep, SXT regular that we use at the track. We prepped the tires. We took it over into the corner on a spare piece of carpet that we have. Every on-road, every carpet track should have this. We burned the tires in lightly, revving it up a little bit. No problem. Did that a couple times, and here's pretty much what the tires look like now. And they are ran in, and they are good to go. So they will get an application of prep, some cleaning, whatever. probably even use some brake cleaner if you wanted to soften them up. But it seems like after doing that, the tires came off almost as clean as they are now. So that's what we want. We don't want to see that complete build up and fuzz up, because that's just going to want to make everything skate around. The other thing that I did, of course, is I balanced all of my tires. I've showed in a few videos how I balance my tires. You need a light, nice level surface, a DURBO propeller balancer, link to this in the description below, to Amazon, and you need some kind of putty. I have like some putty that you can use for balancing. A cheaper alternative is the big brick of the electrician's putty that you can get in like the electrician's aisle of Home Depot or Lowe's. It's like 10 or 12 bucks. And then for ovals, so I could lay down power all the way, because I haven't done anything with shocks, which yes, you are going to be allowed to change your shock oils. I know it doesn't come in the box, but come on, again, smart asses. If parts do end up breaking or causing a problem, then we will revisit that down the road. Maybe we add them, maybe we change them. We had to make changes to make the TTO2 a more enjoyable experience. We'll do the same here if we have to. But right now, I don't think there's going to be a need. This thing is like 70% Grom, and my American Bulldog has been beating the shit out of my Grom for months. And the only thing I've done is strip a diff. I've never broken arms or anything at all. So last thing that I did in order to put down the full power was to glue the entire sidewall up here on the right front tire. You can see I went all the way to the top, and that allowed me to keep the power all the way down and not have to feather it in and out so much. I did notice that the car was lifting quite a bit, and you could probably see it in the video where I'll be able to come into the corner really good, but then the car will push out because it's literally trying to steer with like one wheel. But we will sort that out probably using some adjustment on the sides here to stiffen this side up, soften this side up. You know, some people like to do the corner weight method and just run it that way. There, you know, again, there is adjustable shock collars on here, so there's at least a little bit of tuning ability. The other thing that is definitely going to be required is some remote tuning. So we luckily have two very important knobs on this remote. We have our trim, which of course, so we can help the car drive straight. And in oval, you do kind of want it to kind of come to the left a little bit, because the less steering input that you're giving this thing, the less you're scrubbing off that speed by turning too much when you don't need to be, letting the car just do its thing. And then the dual rate, which if I could guess right now, my dual rate is probably somewhere around 30 to 35%, maybe 40 to 45. Kind of hard to tell. There is a knob there, and I need bifocals. But anyway, so tuning that dual rate and everything else is just kind of the real important thing. And then when we move to on-road, more than likely what we'll need to do is, by then tires should be out. So I will buy a second set of tires. I will have a front, left, and right glued up that are specifically for on-road, because even though these are rubber tires and that for oval, these will kind of burn and camber in a certain way. And the more that burns off, the faster the car is going to get. So we haven't even really got to see, even though we were in the 4.3s, there's probably some 14s somewhere in this car. I believe it will happen, and hopefully happen pretty soon, because that will make it for some fun racing. Sitting next to a TTO2, I mean, this thing is literally like the same size. It's just a little bit smaller, but with the bodies and stuff, you know, there you go. And even though it runs a couple tenths slower, it just seems like it is a faster race. It is more direct. It's more in control. There's just overall, it's just a better, more precision driving machine than this is. I mean, if you look at like the slop that's just in like a TTO2 and you compare that to this, it's just not even night and day. And then of course we've got oil filled adjustable shocks there. Here we don't, we got none of that stuff on the TTO2. And with the TTO2, you know, you can run different batteries. The R1 battery that I ran last year is a hell of an advantage for me. It's got great IRs. This battery is worth a tenth for sure. And anybody can go and buy one. I didn't get a special hand-picked one or anything, but people have chose not to. We'll be running the Spectrum batteries with these. Of course, luckily I already had the big Spectrum charger. This is like the $60 one. They make one for $30, but you still need a power brick. So if you're going to get one, you might as well get this one. And then what you need is this IC3 to IC2 dongle in order to plug the battery into it. And then this baby is switchable between the IC3 and the IC5 for all of the larger type of cars. And what you can do with this charger is you can actually see your independent cell voltages. You can charge at when you plug it in, it's got the ID built into it, so it automatically knows what battery that you're charging and how to charge it. But you have the ability to like crank that up, you know, to say a 2.8, which would be a 2C, or you could go up even higher to a 3C charge rate or whatever, and just eliminate the need to be waiting for charge times. So that will come in handy with everybody that is at the track. So I'm excited about this. I like the car. It's going to be fun. It's going to put asses in the seats, and people are going to have a great experience and have fun. They're not going to have to worry about busting a rear hub and buying an $8 parts tree to replace a hub and not being able to finish races. This is going to be way more consistent. We're going to have a lot more fun. We're going to be able to bang and beat up against each other. I got a couple nicks in the front here of this deflector already. It takes a lot of the impact. The bars take a lot of the impact. The rear end takes a lot of the impact. So far, I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all. So we'll see how things go Wednesday night. We'll have our first oval race with this. I'm excited. I know all my people that have got these at the local club are excited. And I think this car and its price is going to help save a lot of people's rent money for RC racetracks locally in the next 6 to 9 months at least. So that's my hope and that's my wish. We'll keep racing the TTO2 as well, dabbling in all of the other stuff at the same time. But for now, fun RC racing with the friends is what it is going to be all about. Not tuning and buying this hop up part and all this kind of shit and rabbit holes that we got put into. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Appreciate each and every one of you. Peace.